Hola, my name is Tania Lopez. I'm a Latina mom and chef from the Bronx, New York.
Hola, and I'm her son, Miguel Xavier Diaz Lopez. I'm a mechanical engineer working with NASA and studying for a PhD at Johns Hopkins University.
We love to share stories about
Latinos getting shit done.
Hola, and welcome back to More Than Rice and Beans, a mother-son podcast about food, culture, relationships, and the Latinx community. I'm Tania, a Spanish chef and founder of Coqui the Chef, a New York City-based culinary business that teaches online cooking classes, ships authentic Spanish products, and teaches the importance of cultural foods, family traditions, music, and history.
And I'm her son, Miguel. I'm a PhD student in aerospace engineering, mechanical engineering with a focus in aerospace engineering at Johns Hopkins University. Our lives are busy, but my mom and I always make time to connect over food, to talk about culture and Latinx stories and swap ideas and just catch up on life.
We're so happy you are here to join us. In this episode, we'll be talking about my experience on the TLC show, What Not to Wear.
So first, I'm just going to give you a background on What Not to Wear, because it's kind of an old show, so some people might not have seen it before. The basic premise is it's a makeover show with an emphasis specifically on wardrobe. The hosts, which are Clayton Kelly and Stacy London, surprise a nominee who's nominated by either friends or family or both. The nominee is then brought to a studio where the hosts go through their wardrobe, and then they start kind of picking apart what they don't like, which, I mean, you can assume would be a lot, because that's why the show is called What Not to Wear. Eventually, the nominee is then brought to a 360-degree mirror where the hosts pick out some of the worst things that they found and show it to the entire audience on the show. But then to the makeover aspect is the nominee is then given the $5,000 to then shop for a completely new wardrobe. In the beginning, they're kind of just left with the $5,000 to just shop themselves while the hosts watch, just to see what they're going to pick out. Obviously, the nominee usually picks bad stuff. The hosts step in and make sure that they don't just waste all of the cash on weird things. The nominee is then also given hair and makeup transformation. And so then at the end of the episode, their new look is revealed to their entire family and friends. The show aired on TLC. It went on for 10 seasons from 2003 until 2013. My mom was on the final season, so she was on season 10 of the show. So Ma, I want to first ask you, what was the experience of being on the show like for you?
It was a lot of fun. It's hard to explain how much fun I had. And it was a bit stressful too. I gotta admit, fun and stressful, but stressful fun. Yeah.
And who nominated you?
My friend, who happens to be your second cousin. And of course, Cassandra and you.
Well, not me. I would think I was too young. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, Cassandra went on the computer and filled out the application. By the way, Cassandra's my daughter. She filled out an application, and I'm hoping that that's one of the reasons why they picked me. But from what I heard, it was between her and my cousin. I mean, your cousin, not my friend.
So that says a lot when your own daughter nominates you for a What Not to Wear show.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
So were you really surprised when you found out?
Yes and no. What I found is that my friends were acting very strangely. The friends that are on the show, every time we connected or went out together, they would act so strange. And I didn't realize that during the time that we were just hanging out together, something else was happening. They later told me that the reason they were acting strange is because there was a film crew around just filming me and her. And I was like, oh my God, that must have been so strange.
Yeah, because they took pictures of you too, like with what you're wearing and stuff,
right? Yeah. And I was like, no wonder you were acting so strange. So that was like, but something told me something was up. And then one of my friends was just talking about a show, a soap opera that was canceled. The show was General Hospital on ABC, and it was canceled. And a new show came in, which was The Chew. And I'm thinking, why is she telling me all this? Like, how did we came up with this conversation? We were just talking about something else. But I'm like, okay. And I just went along with it. But I think I started putting things all together like after I was surprised. I was like, oh, then this is what happened. That what happened. So I had a feeling something was going on.
What was the most challenging part while you were doing that?
The most challenging part was shopping for petite clothing. It was hard because there's a lot of stores out there and businesses that have petite departments, but they're very small. They're petite. So petite for petite, you know? Petite section for petite people. So that was very challenging finding the right clothes for my right size. And at that time, I was like 100 pounds or 103 pounds. I was very skinny. So I was skinny and petite, and that really didn't help. So that was made it very difficult.
And so, are there any behind the scenes secrets that you can share with the audience?
I got two juicy ones, I guess. During the filming, I stayed in a very fancy New York City hotel, and they gave me some little cash to spend. And Stacy London actually has her very own fashion stylist. She's a fashion stylist herself, but she has people around her that help her dress up so pretty. As you can see in the episode, she has a beautiful green dress. Her hair and makeup are great. Well, she has people that help her with that.
The show tries to make it seem like she does everything, but she really
Right.
doesn't. And then I guess Clinton Kelly is the personality. He
Yes.
doesn't really have anything.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see any fashion stylists around him, but he probably did have one. But yeah, he's the one that has the great, I mean, Stacey London is great. She has a great personality too. But he has a quirky kind of way of being. He's the
Yeah.
one that makes all the funny faces.
Yeah. So now $5,000 seems like a lot of money, but you're also shopping in New York City. So were you really able to buy a whole new wardrobe?
Yeah, we did buy a whole new wardrobe. We did get a lot. Like the challenges that I had with the petite clothing, a lot of them, the clothing that they selected were size small, and they were either too long or too wide. So most of the clothes had to be tailored. So some of that money went into tailoring.
All right, so now I'm going to ask you what was your favorite part of the experience, which I think here you need to mention what happened with the chew, because the audience needs to know what happened with the chew.
Yes. So the best part of it was when I was on the chew. I was surprised on the chew. And the chew for me is like, I always wanted to be on it. For those of you who don't know about the chew, it was canceled a few years ago, sadly. But it was very nice. It was a food talk show with with Clinton Kelly. It had who else did it have, Miguel? Like there was a few people that were Mario Batali.
Yeah. But I think part of the reason it got canceled was because of him, right?
Yeah, it got canceled because of Mario Batali, Bochinche.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to be in the show, and I always wanted to be in that part of the table where they serve the guests what they made in the show. And I was on that table, and it was so exciting. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to try out their food, whatever they're cooking right now on stage. I get to see all the behind the scenes fun stuff that people don't see when they watch the show on ABC. So I was just so excited to be part of that. And when I was like called out, well, how exactly did it happen? Because you and Cassandra were right behind me. We're sitting right behind me.
Yeah, we were. But you were already sitting at the tasting table.
Right. And so how did they surprise me? I'm trying to figure that out. I know, well, it's on the show too. So maybe I should just watch it again. But I know that they came up to me and they called out my name. Oh, I remember now. They gave me a soup that Stacy London put together. I think it was kale and bean soup, white bean soup, kale and white bean soup. And they said, could you taste this for us? And I said, okay. And they asked me, what do you think? And I was like, this is great. I love it. And it was like, well, Tanya, we want to let you know that you're going to be on What Not to Wear. And that's when I was like, holy shit.
And that's when everyone else on the tasting table were jealous of you.
Yeah. They were like, why did she get to be on What Not to Wear?
Oh, and then they looked at what you're wearing and they're like, oh, that makes sense.
That's not nice. Okay. Okay. What was it like for you when I was on the show?
Well, for me, in the beginning, I like the fact that we got to be on the chew. I thought that was pretty cool. When you got picked to be on the tasting table, I was already surprised because I was like, what are the odds of that? I was 14 at the time, too. I didn't know too much about the chew, but I could tell from like the huge audience there. I was surprised that you got picked for that. Obviously, the surprise kind of made sense once it was revealed that the reason was because you were on What Not to Wear. And so I was still extremely surprised. Actually, I'm pretty sure they did a close up of my terrible looking 14-year-old face being surprised with braces when you were picked.
Well,
And
I
my
gotta
Justin
tell
Bieber hair.
yeah, I gotta tell you that Stacy London loved your hair.
Really? That's
Yeah,
I
she
well
complimented your
then
hair.
I don't know. Maybe we should check her stylist credentials if she liked my hair. And in general, I think you kind of did need a makeover, not because like you were ugly or anything. I think it was mostly just because like you didn't have the confidence that I think you needed to give yourself a makeover. You needed someone to kind of push you, so I think you needed one. When I actually saw you in the end, it was a big surprise because it almost seemed like you were a completely different person. But again, my reaction, which I guess this is another behind the scenes secret, my reaction in the first time that we did it was surprise, and I was like, wow, like they really changed her, right? But then the thing is, they only had a single camera and they had to take multiple shots of everything that was going on. And I think it was all their other cameras were down or something. So typically what they would do is just have multiple cameras at different angles. But because they only had a single camera, we had to film the same reaction scene like 7 times. So I was surprised the first time. But then after the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, I was just like, please get me the hell out of here. I am starving. I want to leave.
Oh
And
my
then
god.
every time we had to pretend like it was the first time we saw you. So we just had to like
Yeah.
channel the reaction that we had the first time and just continue with it, which it was terrible.
Well, it's funny that you say that because they recorded me going down the stairs in 4-inch heels for like 3 times. At one point I was telling them that my thighs hurt because walking down the stairs in 4-inch heels, and I don't do that quite often because I'm always wearing flats. I was like, can we do something different? Because like how many times do you want me to come down these stairs with these
Yeah.
heels? I was very tired too, and I was like, at one point, I was like, I'm not even, I don't even care if nobody's surprised anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing that that you don't really see. I guess like that's a behind the scenes secret of a lot of these like makeover shows is that like all of these like quote unquote surprise reactions, that might have been the fourth time they actually saw the person. Because even if they had all of the cameras at all different angles, they probably would have made us record that reaction at least 3 times just to see if
Hmm.
they can get the best one, because that's always what shows do. But
Yeah,
then it kind of like takes out some of the magic once you actually know, and then you just get frustrated.
yeah.
So I feel like after, I think the reason why they finally stop is because there's a point where they realize that we're not going to get any better because all they're so upset that all the rest of them are going to be bad. So now I want to ask you, do you think being on What Not to Wear has that like had a lasting effect on your life?
Yes, it has. I've definitely increased my confidence because my confidence grew. My company grew with it. So I felt good having this nice wardrobe where I can pick a nice suit, go to this meeting, and have the whole package. Not just have this confidence, but look it as well, the look of it. And even when I went out to like just to go to a cafe and have a coffee, I had a nice little dress to wear, a nice flats or heels, and it just made me glow. And I love feeling like that. What was really wonderful about being on the show is the friends that I made there because I made friends with a lot of the people behind the scenes. I made friends with the fashion stylists, the producers, and I'm still connected with them on Facebook. They see what I'm doing and I see what they're doing, and I think that's the coolest thing ever. Miko, do you feel like your life changed after the filming?
Well, I don't know about my life, but I think our lives as a family in general, I guess, changed just because, as you had already mentioned, your confidence grew and the business grew. So, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, any of your successes are the family successes. So, as your confidence grew, I mean, I was still only 14 years old, so I was still a very impressionable child. So, I got to see how your confidence grew, and I think my confidence also grew from that.
Oh. So you think it was
Um,
a positive thing to do the show? Because I
yeah,
had to say yes or no, of course, at the end of the day. They can't force me. So
Yeah,
you
but it's
think,
$5,000. You're really gonna say no to $5,000? I don't think anyone's gonna say no
well,
to five thousand
you know,
dollars.
a lot of people will now say okay to being like put in a position where you're gonna have people criticizing what you're wearing. They're gonna have people following you around.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
$5,000. I
you
don't
know,
care what I have to do for $5,000.
well, I know that I got a lot of questions, and of course, I had to sign a couple of papers just to make sure that I felt comfortable with the fact that I'm going to be put in a position where I'm going to be criticized, that I'm going to be probably, said a couple of things that are negative to me. I was like, okay, as long as it leads to something better, I'm okay with that. But I also didn't want to put you and Cassandra in a place where you guys didn't want to feel like, like, Mom, why are you on TV? My friends are seeing this. By the way, did you get to see the episode again after so many years, or you only watched it once
I
with
only
me?
watched it once. I've never saw the episode
Well, then
again.
we got to see it again
I don't
together.
watch TV. I just play video games.
All right, so let's play a video game of my show.
No, that's not how that works.
So let's talk about the bochinche that's out there that TLC most likely will revive What Not to Wear, but it has been postponed. So they say they're still thinking about it, but we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. They actually had this talk about it in 2019. So we're in 2022. So let's see. There's also a rumor that Clinton, Kelly, and Stacy in London are not friends in real life, and that London actually blocked Kelly from Twitter after they finished filming. This is all bochincha to me because I honestly did not see any tension or weirdness between them. I felt like they really complimented each other. So maybe I wasn't looking at that. Maybe I was just so busy doing my own thing that I was just like so worried about my clothes and how much of my clothes they're throwing out.
It could have just also been at the end when the show finished that maybe something bad happened. Like maybe during the
Yeah.
show they were fine, but maybe after the show something happened.
Yeah,
Like
that's
when they
true.
were parting ways or something.
Yeah, because I did get to see them again after this show. They invited us, everybody who was on What Not to Wear for the past 10 years. They all invited us to go to Las Vegas. So we were actually a part of the season finale. I think it's the season finale. It's the final season. No, it's called final season when its episodes are over.
Oh,
And
it's the season finale.
the season finale? Okay. Because
Yeah.
just like you, I just don't watch much TV. So I know that they were like great too. They were having fun. They were just, it was emotional actually for them because they were crying. They felt like, oh my God, this is the end. And I love how they ended because they actually had a party with all of us and it reunited all of us all over again. That was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
so I feel like if there was something weird, you probably would have seen it. Maybe it was
Yeah.
just once they separated, something happened.
So if they do decide to revive the show, they'll probably have a brand new host like Queer Eye. Who knows?
But then, yeah, fashion has changed a lot since 2013. So it's kind of difficult to say because we've kind of deconstructed the whole idea of gendered approaches when it comes to clothing, and we started to ignore the rules about highlighting and hiding parts of the body. And queer eye is one of the ways that really signifies that they don't do that as much as they did in What Not to Wear. And now we're more focused on wearing kind of what makes us feel good, what makes us look good, and instead of doing it for other people, doing it for ourselves. Do you think that What Not to Wear can be successfully revived, considering those?
Yeah, if they have less negative criticism and more constructive criticism, because there were times when I felt like, was that necessary for you to say to me? I mean, like, after the show aired and everybody had watched it, I was reading a lot of comments and on Facebook regarding the show, my episode, and they actually were like really upset at Stacy London for certain things that she said to me. And then I wasn't the only one. They were upset, they were like criticizing and say Stacey London should have not said that. There were many other episodes where people were actually saying she should have not said that, or Kelly should have approached it differently.
Part of the ways that they construct the show is like meant to be almost bullying. Like if you think
Yeah.
about that, the 360-degree mirror, like anyone's going to be afraid walking in front of a 360-degree mirror where you see yourself on all sides.
Mm-hmm.
While these people just pull out clothes that they hate and they think that like you're terrible for picking them. So, and then also the whole like, oh, let's give you $5,000 and just throw you into this extremely expensive store just to see what you pick. That also is kind of like more towards the bullying side. So I think they would have to take out some of that stuff too. Well, if you look at shows like Queer Eye, they're a lot better at kind of highlighting the person and being better about kind of going with what the person likes and their personality.
That's
That's definitely
true.
something that they have to change. And then
Yeah.
also, I think the other thing is that if it came back, it has to be more than just like wardrobe makeovers. Because if you like shows like Queer Eye, they do everything. They do a wardrobe makeover. They have hair and makeup. They do a home renovation. They teach them how to cook. Like they do everything in Queer Eye. So I think if What Not to Wear came back, it really wouldn't be What Not to Wear. It would have to be something else to compete with something like Queer Eye. It would have to be like, I don't know, what not to do. And then they just change everything. So is there
Yeah.
something that the show didn't offer you while you were there that you wish you could have had?
Winter clothes, because when we went shopping, it was spring. Yeah, it was March or April, it was spring in New York, and there wasn't any winter clothes. And I asked him, is it possible that we can get some winter clothes? Because I don't have any. Now that you threw away all my clothes, I don't have winter clothes.
And they didn't
But
actually throw away your clothes, right?
no, they actually, oh, there you go, behind the scenes secret. It
Yeah.
was donated. It was not thrown away. Okay, people, it was all donated, and I felt good
And
about that.
did you get to choose what, like, did you get to still keep what you wanted to keep, or they
Yes.
really just throw away?
Well, you really want me to give it all, don't you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
So, yeah, I mean, like, besides donating it, they did ask me if I wanted to stay with something. And I know that part of growing is letting go. So I just told them, let me stay with my yoga pants at least and this shirt, and you could take the rest. But
but
there
then
is
now you
one.
don't have a coat.
Yeah, and now I don't have a coat. But there was one dress that I wish I would have never told them to take back because it was a wrap dress and it was my favorite dress. And I was like, why did I tell them to take that? Anyway, I'm hoping somebody is wearing it out there and enjoying it.
Yeah. So now we're gonna do some fast fire. All right.
Woo! Okay, but I'm ready.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
So what's your favorite clothing item that you own?
From the show, it is a brand called Reese. It's a British company. It's the 4-inch heels. They're in the show, I think, at almost at the ending or where they're going
Are
to
they the
surprise.
same shows that were burning your thighs?
Yes. Yes.
So you
Yes.
still love them even after that experience.
Yes, I do. And they still look brand new. I just opened up the box today because I have them in the box, stored nicely, and they still look beautiful. I'm dying to use them again. All right.
So now
Next
what's your
question.
favorite current reality TV show?
None. I'm basically addicted to home improvement shows.
Yeah, I don't think either of us really watch many or any reality TV shows.
Yeah.
The next one is what's your favorite snack to have while watching TV? But
What?
I already know the answer to this because I know you too well.
Oh,
So
God.
we're gonna do the same thing we did last time, and we're gonna say it at the same time. Okay,
Okay.
ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Wine.
Wine.
Yeah, you see, I
I
knew
was,
exactly what she's gonna say.
well, maybe it's not a snack, but still, it feels
So
like a snack.
the fact that it's not really a snack is the reason why I knew that would be your answer, because you would want to pick something that's not actually a snack.
Right. So now I have one for you. So if you had an idea for a reality show, what would it be?
I guess because it's kind of related to this podcast in a way, and I really hope that nobody takes this idea. But my idea would be that you can take like someone who does not know how to cook at all. Like they barely even know how to make eggs. Like they can't make anything. They just get takeout all the time and they feed their family through fast food and takeout. So you take that person and then you have like some famous chef and a kitchen designer which will renovate the nominee's kitchen completely and teach them the basics of, or teach them like kind of the beginnings of getting into cooking so that they can feed themselves, feed their family, and gain the confidence of being able to do that by yourself, creating something of yourself. So I think
Yeah.
that would be a really cool show.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And the kitchen is the heart of the home. And if the kitchen is happy and the person cooking there is happy and it looks great and comfortable, the whole home will actually be an amazing place to be.
Yeah, and then the person can gain a lot of confidence from being able
Mhm.
to do that. From being able to learn how to cook, possibly even a new hobby. Like that's a really good thing to have, I think in general. It's a good life skill.
So if there's any producers out there listening to this, he came
Don't
up with
take
the
my idea.
idea, right? Don't
Yeah,
take his
come to
idea.
me.
Yep, talk to
You have
him
to
about
come
it.
to me to be so that I can be a co-producer. Don't take my idea, I will sue you.
And you have proof.
You have to be careful. You don't want to be sued by an engineer. I have a lot of friends, okay?
In high places.
Yeah, exactly.
Very high in the sky and going to
Yeah,
space.
yeah, into space. It's not even the sky anymore. So thanks for joining us this week on More Than Rice and Beans. If you'd like to learn more about us, visit our website at cookiethechef.com/podcast. And to hear what else we have in store for this season, make sure to subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen.
If you really enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and a review. It really helps more people find this podcast. And if you're interested in booking a virtual cooking course with me, purchasing authentic Spanish ingredients, or learning more about the Puerto Rican and Spanish cuisine, visit my website at cookiethechef.com. That's COQUI, thechef.com.
We'll see you here next time on More Than Rice and Beans.
Adios. Ciao. Say
Bye.
goodbye.
Oh my
Okay.
God, you're going to do this again? Bye.
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 Bye.